Hey, Dr. Berg here. In this video, we're going to talk about something very interesting that was just released in a new research study. It had to do with something called an endocrine disruptor. I have to define that word first. Endocrine disruptors are anything in the environment that is like a chemical that mimics or disrupts the endocrine system, and it acts like estrogen, which is very cancerous. That would be like pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, and those chemicals have a tendency to create fibroids, cysts on your ovaries, cancer, and sex organ problems like infertility. Okay? So this little message I want to talk about is a chemical called glyphosate. And glyphosate is the active ingredient in Roundup, that weed killer that Monsanto sells. So you might say, well, I don't use Roundup in my yard. Yeah, but it's used in all the genetically modified foods, because one of the purposes of making genetically modified foods was to make them resistant against Monsanto's Roundup Ready weed killer. So they can then spray these on their genetically modified foods, which would be like most of the soy in the US, the corn, the canola, and the wheat. So these are the big ones, but there's a lot of other ones. They're even making cows genetically modified to produce more milk. And unfortunately in the US they passed laws to hide this labeling, so you don't really know if you are getting genetically modified or not. I'll show you how to figure that out, but generally it's hard to find out if you're having GMO or non-GMO. Now, what's the significance of this one chemical? Well, they found out that it will trigger breast cancer in parts per trillion, not per billion, parts per trillion. That is a very small amount. So just to give you a comparison of how small that is, let's visualize this. Let's take 600 train cars, okay, of fluid, of water. And let's say we took these train cars and we dumped them into a huge bucket, a gigantic bucket. And then we took one drop of this chemical and put it into that huge bucket, and we mixed it up, and that would be this mixture, this dilution of 1 part of this chemical to parts per trillion. All right. So then if you took 1 drop of that would have enough potential effects to cause cancer. Yeah, incredible. So in other words, it doesn't take much of this chemical to create a huge problem in our bodies. So I'm going to recommend that you really start reading and watching out for the GMO foods, because try to find a food that doesn't have soy, corn, canola, and wheat. Most processed foods have these, and then the soy has an additional estrogenic effect on top of that because it's estrogenic as a food. It's like certain plant-based chemicals that trigger that. So it's very, very potentially damaging to your body. So this is how you find it. You look on the sticker on that fruit or vegetable, and if it's genetically modified, it's going to have 5 digits starting with an 8. If it's organic, it'll have 5 digits starting with a 9. If it has 4 digits, it's conventional, which means it's more like pesticide. It already has pesticides on it, but it's not GMO. Okay? So that's how you determine if something is differentiate between the 3 right there. I listed down below the link to the study and this little thing right here and some more information. And so definitely spread this video out to your friends and family, because this is a situation, especially the amount of women that are getting fibroids and breast cancer. It's crazy. And you know, it's like, don't wait for them to do something because they're not doing something. They're very politically strong, and I don't think they're going away anytime soon. All right, so I'll see you on the next video.